Welcome back to JBSports. I'm your host, Sean Bird, and today is Friday, so you know it's all about the normal sports. Today, we're going to get into the Commanders potentially trading for Cooper Kupp. We're going to talk about the $25 million increase in the salary cap, and then just a few rumors here and there. And then we'll talk about Canada versus USA hockey in the final four face-off, whatever it's called, the NHL thing. So first, I'm going to talk about Cooper Kupp. We'll get into that. My opinion on Cooper Kupp is he can still be a very good player. I think over the last 2 years, he's had a few injuries that make you a little skeptical. Skeptical of what he can do and what he can't do anymore. I think he'd be a great piece for the offense for Jaden Daniels. I really do like Cooper Kupp. The thing is, I don't know how much I want to trade for him. I don't want to trade anything outlandish. I mean, I know we need a number two, and you could say maybe Cooper Kupp, the way he's been playing the last few years, might be a number three. But if he can stay healthy, of course, I'd love to have Cooper Kupp on the team because we need the wide receiver too. Like I said, Noah Brown. As much as I love him, and as much as I love the Hail Mary catch he had for us, I think he hasn't he didn't fill that spot like we needed him to do. De'Ami Brown, amazing in playoffs. I think he is a perfect and really high value wide receiver three. So if we can maybe try to get Cooper Kupp on a maybe fourth round pick, fifth round pick, and maybe some cash considerations, maybe I would think about getting him here. But it's just really hard to really go all out for him for the money and for the trade assets we'd have to give up. And of course, there was that $25 million increase, which we'll get to in a little bit. But it's just, it makes it, I don't know, it's just something about it just seems a little off. Like I said, he can still be a great player, probably. I think the injuries have hurt him, and Puka Nakua going to the Rams and becoming a really good wide receiver. I think that's maybe hurt him a little bit more because Matthew Stafford has another person to throw to now, other than a very old Odell that they had that year they won the Super Bowl, and then Cooper Kupp, which Cooper Kupp, triple crown that year, won the MVP. He was amazing, and that was a few years ago. It's not like it was a crazy amount of time ago. So that's why I feel like he can still be like somewhat good, but it just sticks your mind the injuries and the downplay. Because if we don't get him, there's some options in the free agency. A big one that a lot of people have been talking about going to the Commanders is Chris Godwin. And Chris Godwin, very good player, had a very good season up until he got injured. I believe he hurt. Did he dislocate his ankle? I believe that's what happened. He dislocated his ankle, and I mean, he could he could be a good player too off of injury, because nowadays I feel like with the medicine and the doctors and the technology we have, you can heal from things a lot better than you would be able to before. So I think that's why you can possibly be like, okay, listen, maybe he can come back and still be good. Because with the recent guys with some of the injuries, I mean, they're older, like Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, like they're older, so that's really gonna affect him. But some of these other players, like Kyler Murray, I mean, he's not the same as he was, but he's still not doing bad. So that's why I think Cooper Kupp is around the older bunch, but we wouldn't have him for an insane amount of time. Maybe after this contract goes up, we offer him a small term contract. Be like, stay with us, be a good wide receiver two or three for a Super Bowl caliber team, because we are a Super Bowl caliber team. I think no, I'm not gonna say Super Bowl caliber, Super Bowl potential team, by meaning we had some of the pieces to get there, but we're just missing a piece or two. Like, of course, Miles Garrett. he would really help if you drafted a cornerback in the draft like Siobhan Revel or Morrison, or I mean, I'm 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 warming up to Jade Barron, but I still have to figure out if I like him or not because Marshall and Lattimore, we have um, Mike Sanders still Frozone. We still have those two, and a lot of people are talking trash on Marshall and Lattimore, but give him some time. Just let him play when he's actually healthy, and it'll probably change your mindset on him. But yeah, Cooper Cup, I wouldn't be mad, but I wouldn't be if it's too much to get him. I wouldn't give up. Like I don't want to overpay at all for Cooper Cup. I mean, maybe a few years ago, maybe you can throw a big thing for him, but it's I don't a fourth or a fifth would be probably the most I'd do, and if it's a fourth, probably one pick because they seem like they just want to get him out no matter what. So you can use that against them. You can use some things against him to maybe get the trade value down on him, but overall, he's probably not going to be the easiest to trade for, but he still wouldn't be a bad addition to the team. Going into trading for people, which is a big topic right now, but the salary cap getting increased by 25 million. Um, I think that's kind of big because you have some teams that are really deep into cap space troubles, like the Saints, and it helps them out a little bit. It doesn't help them out an insane amount, but it gives some other teams some chances to go back and get some bigger stars. I mean, I think it'll help the Eagles out with maybe getting Zach Bond back because that's a guy they have to re-sign. They got some people they got to re-sign, but I think it helps some teams out. I don't think it will be too crazy. I mean, it could help the Commanders out with trading for someone like Myles Garrett for cap space. So overall, I think it's a great addition, but I I don't really know if it'll help a crazy amount, but we'll see. We'll see how much it helps. But I think it's kind of cool that we're getting a little more cap space. I hope it doesn't go anything crazy like MLB because MLB, you got 700 and something $1 million contracts getting thrown out there. So let's not go to that realm of contract talks because that's insane. But 25 million increase, which is I think 50 million increase over the last few years, it's not terrible. It's manageable. So hopefully it stays around there, and especially with like quarterback contracts going up, this will probably get a quarterback of 75 mil eventually. So going from cap space to rumors. One rumor, another Commanders rumor, of course, is Christian Kirk potentially going to the Commanders as well. This one's interesting because, again, salary cap, kind of crazy for a guy that has been playing like him. Um, a few years ago, Christian Kirk, you'd be really happy to have him. And I understand why Cliff likes him. I mean, he played for the Cardinals when I think Cliff was there or something like that. I believe he really likes him. He can work in Cliff's offense. I get why, but he's older now. The way he's been playing ever since that contract. I mean, the first few years on the contract wasn't bad, but ever since that, it's been buns. So you kind of worry about that a little bit, and just the injury history. I think 2 years ago he had the I think it was a core muscle injury, and then last year, of course, he broke the collarbone. So again, another player where you're maybe worried about injury more than anything, especially than his playing ability. But again, if he was brought in, I don't think he'd be a two. I think he'd be a three or four because, like I said, the playing has just gone down and the injuries have just been messing him up a lot recently. So you really have to take that into account. Would I want to trade for him personally? Not really. I don't really see the full value in him. I know Cliff Kingsbury would be happy to have him. So if that makes Cliff stay longer, okay, maybe, but I don't see that happening. If anything, I see us getting Debo more, especially not trade wise. I think I see us getting Debo by um, him getting released and us signing him because Debo, I think he wants to trade out. I think we talked about this, and he got No one really wants him. I don't think a lot of people are going to be willing to give a lot for him, so they're probably going to release him. But I don't know with him. I just think that I think he's not. He's another one I wouldn't trade for. If we're talking about this wide receiver trio, we've been not trio, but like rumor trio. If it was Cooper Cup, Debo, and Christian Kirk, I'm probably gonna go for Cooper Cup out of the three. I just like him the most, and I think he has the most left in him because while most all three of them had an injury at some point of last year, if any of them had the best chance to really shine, it was Debo because Brandon Ayuk tore his ACL. There's a lot of injuries to receiving core, tight end core was injured. George Kittle got hurt once or twice. It was his time to shine, and he couldn't do it. Cooper Cup still had some good games. I mean, he didn't play amazing, like I said, but he. I think Debo had the chance to have the best season out of the three, and he couldn't deliver. And a lot of the time, they gave him a chance, and he just couldn't do it. So, out of the three, I'd take Cooper Cup. And honestly, if we could sign Debo for not a lot of money, I'll take him still because we got some wide receivers leaving, but we also have a bunch of other players leaving, which some of the players leaving I'm happy about, but that's another thing to talk about. But yeah, I'd take Cooper Cup out of the three, just because I just like him. I like his playing style more, and I think he'll just work better for the system. So that's why I'd go for Cooper Cup. Another rumor possibly would be us cutting Jonathan Allen for cap space. I think with the increase in the cap space we have, it's probably not likely because honestly, him with Newton another year probably would help Newton a lot. Maybe get him some more, veteran advice. I mean, we still have Payne. And Payne, I don't think we should sleep on. I know I talk kind of trash on him every so often, saying like, "Hey, we paid him this much for him, not to like, not to play the way we thought he was gonna play, but overall, he can still be a good player, and he's probably our best run defender, even though our run defense was actually garbage." But we won't get too deep into that. Another rumor, I'm probably gonna stick with the Commanders a lot because in a lot of Commanders rumors is I saw one and it was possibly Chase Young coming back to the old burgundy and gold with Dante Fowler being on the free agency scene. If we don't take him back, we'll have a little hole to fill there. And if we don't take Nick Scorton or another defensive lineman or move anyone out, you could see Chase Young as an option. I think it's the first time in his career I saw that he recorded 6 sacks back to back. So he hasn't had bad seasons. I mean, of course, nothing's going to beat his rookie season because his rookie season was insane. But, under this regime, you might be able to get him to try more on defense because I know a big problem with Chase Young is that he wasn't trying sometimes. He'd just take plays off, and that's not going to fly with Dan Quinn and Witt. So that's a reason why you could see them not taking him. But a reason you could see them taking him is he was a fan favorite at one point. He probably won't cost too much money. And if we don't get Dante Fowler back, he's not a bad pickup. 6 sacks with the help on the inside and a better D line, you could see him produce more, and it would be nice to have Chase Young come back, and because a lot of people can get his jersey pretty cheap because it's only $30 on the NFL shop. Not telling you have to get it. Don't listen to me, but it's $30. So some people could get some pretty cheap jerseys for a player if he came back, which is just the funniest thing to me. But overall, would I want him back? Why not? I mean, good backup, maybe starter if he could get his act straight with just trying on the field, possibly. But he had a good year on the Saints. He played good against us when we played the Saints. So would I give him a chance? Why not? A cheaper deal. Do it. I mean, if we get Myles Garrett, I think that would be a lot better than everybody we could possibly bring back or get. I think he'd be the best part of our defense. But if we don't want to spend some picks on getting him or we don't want to spend some players, some of these smaller deals, some of these small time deals could be worth it because We have 74 million, I think, in cap space, if I remember. So we're gonna have to bring some people back, which that would entail Bobby Wagner, Ertz, probably Dante Fowler. We got to resign Jeremy Chin. Some of the people we should let go: Benjamin St-Juste, Michael Davis. There's a few others where you can be like, okay, yeah. One hard spot I do think that would be to let someone go would be either McNichols or Rodriguez. Um, I think that I'd love to keep them both because when it was their moment, both of them pretty much shined. But I would love to keep Rodriguez. I think he'd be a great addition to a running back core. Anytime he was out there, he was insane. That when B-Rob was out, Chris Rodriguez really stood up, and some of those games he really finished out the drives for us. So really love Rodriguez. Hopefully he can stay. But either way, I'm happy if we keep McNichols or Rodriguez. So we'll hopefully keep another one of those. Um, from free agency to All-Star weekends, which we're not talking NBA because that one was pretty bad. We're talking about the NHL, the what was it? Final Four face-off, Canada versus USA in the championship game. Canada gets their miracle on ice moment. They beat the US in overtime with a Connor McDavid score. Um, I'm not gonna pretend to be a expert in hockey. I watched it because it was cool. I like the concept of it. I think it's probably one of the better break kind of events you can have. I think NHL made a good move with this type of weekend where it's not just like all-star games because I think those have gone bad. Which honestly, I'll get into that after this one because I do want to say my piece on that. But overall, like I think it was a great concept. Of course, I wish USA won because we gotta rep our boys. And like I said, with the goal in overtime, Canada gets their miracle on ice moment. Congratulations, we have the cooler one. But no offense, Canada. I don't want the smoke. I'm just saying we just had the better moment overall. But it was a very cool concept. I love it. I think it was great for them. Smartest thing a league has done for an All-Star game in a while. Because All-Star games recently in the All-Star weekends have not been good in other sports. So NHL, great. You get a thumbs up. You get a JBSports approved. A JBSports approved thumbs up for your weekend of fun and week. It was great. Going into All-Star games, yes, I said NBA and NFL have really fallen off. I mean, I talked about it a little bit the other week, but the NBA All-Star weekend was really bad. The three-point contest isn't really desirable anymore. The dunk contest is one guy saving it every year, but when Mac McClung possibly says, "No, I'm not coming back next year because he's won 3 times in a row," who do you got? Because you say he has, like John Moran said, "Oh, he's making me maybe want to come out and dunk." We know he's probably not going to do it. So, if anything, if you're going to do it for NBA, just get rid of it because the All Star game is not much fun anymore. Um, you have one person trying, Victor Wembanyama, which prayers up to him. I think there's something in his shoulder. I think it led to like a clog artery, something. Something was clogged in an artery or something. So prayers up to him. Hopefully he gets better. And that sucks for the Spurs season, but hopefully he can be back and healthy because De'Aaron Fox will probably sign a big contract over the offseason. But back to the All Star breaks. They've really fallen off. I think the last one I had a lot of fun watching was the Aaron Gordon um, last dunk contest where he got screwed. I think that was the last really fun one. But other than that, since then, I mean, you don't have people trying as much anymore. And Kevin Durant said it on Twitter. He said fans do complain at any chance they get, which is true. I think sometimes fans overhate, but it hasn't been enjoyable. So I think he said that maybe we should just get rid of it and give them a break. Either give them some pride, give them something to actually want from that, or just stop doing it. Because I know Adam Silver wants to implement a 1v1 tournament, and I don't know what this man's obsession is with tournaments. You have the NBA playoffs, you have the NBA Cup, and now he wants to put a 1v1 tournament in for the All-Star game. I know we've been talking about that for years now, but I don't want to see an NBA Cup tournament and a midseason one-on-one tournament. It's just not something I desire for. A lot of people didn't even like the NBA Cup thing, and I found it fun the first year, but really now it's just like it's kind of useless. I don't really get it, and it's just a random banner you hang up. So I personally, if you're gonna start doing these wacky things, just get rid of the weekend for NBA, NFL. That one keeps getting worse and worse. The skills challenges aren't fun. It's two hand. It's flag football now. Next thing you know, it's gonna be two-hand touch. So some of these weekends, maybe just stop doing them. Just stop, because overall, it's not getting better with these new things people are adding. It's only getting worse. And honestly, I would be intrigued in a 1v1 tournament if I really thought that the NBA players would try for it, because you put the money implications there. I don't really think many would care unless it's someone who makes less money. So maybe if you do a one-on-one tournament, do it for the guys that make the less money. Maybe put some G League players in there, stuff like that. But if it's the guys that make multiple millions of dollars, why would they try in that? Because at the end of the day, basketball is a team sport as much as NBA. Sometimes it's one guy carrying a team. It's still really about it's still about team sports. So overall, we talked about Cooper Cup to the Commanders, which I am okay with as long as you don't pay too much. The 25 million increase in cap space for NFL, I think it's cool. I think it can lead to multiple opportunities, but I don't think that it'll change too much for some teams, especially the Saints, because they're already really deep into cap debt. Debt. Then you have some of the rumors, some of the Commanders maybe coming back, some of the Commanders getting cut, maybe players coming here. Devo, I'm fine with if we get signed into a contract when he gets cut. Christian Kirk, not so much. Sorry for Cliff Kingsbury, but I'm not feeling it. Then we talked about the USA versus Canada. You got your miracle on ice moment. Congratulations, but next time we're coming for you. Then we had just talk about the All-Star weekends a little bit, and if they should just stop doing them entirely or just try something else. And personally, NBA and NFL, it progressively gets worse. So at this point, just let it go. Just let it go. Maybe instead of doing all those random things, you just do a one-on-one tournament, maybe a three-on-three tournament for some of the friends in the league. Maybe that, but other than that, it might be time to just stop doing it. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next episode.